Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. Life is a gift for which we are grateful.
We gather in community to celebrate the glories and mysteries of this great gift.
So let us kindle now the flame of our liberal religious heritage.
In its glow, may our reason and our passion lead us to be true to ourselves, true to each other, and true to what we can together become.
Each of us brings a separate truth here. We bring the truth of our own life, of our own story. We don't come as empty vessels, but rather we come as full people. People who have our own story and our own truth. We seek to add to our truths and to add to our stories. This room is rich with truth, rich with experience. All manner of people here. Needy, joyful, frightened, anxious, and bored. We all bring our truth with us. May we recognize the truth and story in everyone else's life. May we hear and honor the truths that we bring as we gather together. Together we have truths. Together we have a story. And together we are a community.
Good morning. My name is Sophia, and my pronouns are she and hers. On behalf of the entire congregation, I bid you welcome. Especially welcome our families with young children and the infants that bring us the sounds of new life. Later in the service, visiting children are invited to go with the other kids, grade 3 and younger, to age group activities. The older children and youth are encouraged to stay to hear the coming-of-age students as they lead the service and offer their credo statements. After the service, please stay... Oh, no? May each of us reach out to one another to breathe life into the idea of welcome and the true meaning of hospitality. This is a good time to take a moment to silence electronic devices. We gather in this sanctuary with our doubts as well as our convictions, with our fears and our hopes, with our failures and our aspirations, with our sorrows and our joys. Whatever the faiths you have known, if any, you are welcome here. No matter your race or where you were born, you are welcome here. Whoever you are, whatever your identity, whomever you love, you are welcome here. May each of us do what we can to breathe life into the idea of welcome as we accompany each other along life's journey. Again, welcome to the First Unitarian Church.
Our life together invites each one of us into community, with many opportunities to learn and grow, to seek and serve, to encourage each other to be open to life with curiosity and love. In our life together as a caring community, we support one another through difficult times and celebrate with one another through times of joy. A joy today is that it is Mother's Day. We celebrate mothers, those who aren't mothers but who act as mothers, while acknowledging that many among us may mourn the absence of a mother or the presence of one who was less than nurturing. May we celebrate, too, all families that arise from ties of love and connection. If you would like to visit with a pastoral team member this morning, please seek out our member on duty, Sandy Simmons. She will be located at the Caring Ministry table after our service. In our life together, as people who encourage and love our children and youth as they grow and come into their own identities, today we celebrate the annual Coming of Age service. The Coming of Age program provided our 8th graders time and space in which to determine what is morally and spiritually essential for their lives. It allowed them to think about how they will interact within this world as they journey toward adulthood. With the help of their families, coming-of-age facilitators, mentors, and this church community, the youth were able to think about who they are and what they stand for. In conclusion, developing personal statements of faith. We will be gifted with hearing their words in today's service. This month, as we turn our attention to the theme of curiosity, we draw on the words of Marie Curie. Be less curious about people and more curious about ideas. May the sound of the bell guide us across a threshold to a sacred space in which we invite curiosity to flourish.
Good morning. My name is Marissa Hernandez Evans, and it has been my pleasure to serve as a mentor for Adrienne Butner-Cable. 3 words that I would use to describe Adrienne are passionate, fun, and thoughtful. Thoughtful both in the sense of being kind and also very smart.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adrienne Bettner-Cable. I am one of the Coming Age youth from the 2018-2019 group. Part of the Coming of Age program was writing a faith statement about our beliefs. We have been working on these for a little over a month now, and I hope you enjoy mine as well as everyone else's today. Recently, for my English class, we were required to read the book Night by Elie Wiesel, a Jewish Holocaust survivor who died a little while ago in the summer of 2016 after surviving in the Auschwitz and Buna concentration camps in the mid-1940s. During this time, we also read an excerpt from Simon Wiesenthal's The Sunflower. I find this book especially interesting because it not only questions a person's moral responsibility for national crimes, but explores a victim's capacity for forgiveness. Our short reading focused on one of Simon's experiences in a concentration camp where he was taken to see a dying Nazi soldier who wished to confess his crimes to a Jewish prisoner and ask for forgiveness and redemption on his way out of life. Simon tells us he stayed silent, not answering the Nazis' prayers. During this block, we were also given a prompt to write about and discuss. Would we have forgiven the officer had we been in Simon's place? My classmates and I heavily discussed the prompt, and while many of them came to the conclusion of forgiveness, I do not think I would have forgiven him. Not because of the terrible hate crimes he committed, although those are unspeakable acts by themselves, but because instead of standing up for personal and religious freedom for people all over the world, he took the lazy way out, simply letting the evil spread because the consequence of doing the right thing may have been death. This is what I believe in. Standing up for justice is quite possibly one of the most important things in life, no matter what the consequences or risks. Nothing will ever be more important than those for standing up in those in need, those who cannot help themselves. This is what I aspire to do, because at the end of my life, I want to be able to look back on my actions and choices and be proud of myself for helping those who needed me and for making a positive impact on the world. Even though I did not enjoy the idea of participating in the Coming of Age program at the beginning of the year, I am glad I did it because it has helped me think more deeply about my faith and whether my beliefs tie in with the beliefs that the Unitarian religion is known for. I have found that Unitarians not only believe in a free and fair search for justice and equality, but that they also believe in the importance of a search for spiritual growth. These things are important to me because what someone believes in is not a permanent state of mind. It changes quite a lot, and knowing yourself and your faith is a very important thing. I am glad I am part of the Unitarian Church and community because I know they will help me on my search for what I believe in and what I think is just and fair in the world. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Peterson, and I would like to introduce you to Lillian Kearns. I've been her mentor this year, and it's been just a great experience. Getting to know her, I think 3 words I would use to describe her are creative, straightforward, and tender-hearted. She's going to perform part of her faith statement today.
Hi everyone, I'm Lillian Kearns, and as you can tell by the fact that I am the only one performing a piece, music is and will always be very important to me. I have been playing piano longer than I can remember, and many other instruments along the way, including flute, clarinet, guitar, and just singing a cappella. Except this is the first time I have ever composed a full piece. I was told that if I wanted to write music, I would have to describe what my piece meant to me, why it's important. Well, it's important because it represents where I've been, where I am now, and where I'm going, which is what I think the faith statement is all about. The song starts on a high note, the beginning of my life. It starts to climb rapidly, going up, getting even better. I make friends, I make memories. 2013, a year I will always remember. It goes up and up until it doesn't. 2016, quite possibly the worst year of my life. Sometimes it feels like I don't have any real friends. The country is agreeing on idiocy. People I care about lose their parents. And then I lose them. Finally, I lose my great-grandmothers. Except things do get better. I make new friends. And I always have my music. The song just keeps going up until we get to today. Eventually, I go to high school, then college, and I move out. But the song keeps going up.
Every 2 months, our church partners with an organization to provide financial and volunteer support towards their mission. For the past 2 months, we partnered with Candio, an organization who supports clients with intellectual disabilities, brain injuries, and/or mental health diagnosis to achieve their personal goals. We donated $2,866, and 4 volunteers offered 12 hours of service. Volunteer recognition. Thank you to Becky Jones and John McDonald for organizing these efforts in our church. This month, we begin new partnership with the Young Women's Resource Center. Their mission is to embrace and inspire girls and young women to become strong, self-confident, and successful. They focus on 2 branches of services, empowerment and young moms. Please see the printed announcements to learn more and engage in this partnership. Let us reaffirm our commitment to putting faith into action by sharing in the unison reading in your order of service. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something that I can do.
My name is Don Godfrey, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you Milo, who I would describe as outgoing, but reserved, and musically gifted.
Good morning. Institutionalized manipulation and lies, Kendrick Lamar. Some things are pretty straightforward. Some things really aren't. My faith statement is somewhere in the middle of those two. My religious/spiritual journey began when I was just 5 years old. It was another day at kindergarten, and I had just sat down to a debate about religion. You know, typical 5-year-old conversation. 2 boys were arguing whether or not their religion was correct or not. I do believe this argument went on until lunch when a teacher yelled at them and told them to never discuss religion at school. This is the first thing that got me thinking. Before this, I'd only believed in science because that sounded like the cool thing to do. Flash forward roughly 7 years. I've had all these years to formulate my beliefs. Still haven't, because I'm lazy like that. I go to my friend's house, and after 20 minutes of being there, he does something presumably unsmart. I call him an idiot. He goes, "Actually, I'm a Christian." We have a conversation about religion and being Christian and things of that sort. This is what really gets me thinking. And after only a year, I finally figured out what I believe. I believe that bad things happen because of science. Good things happen because of God. When bad things happen to people, I don't think that there was a way to really prevent that, and no amount of praying can alter that in a major way. But I also believe that God has the power to reduce the consequences of what has happened. An incident that happened recently confirmed my belief of that. There was recently a fire off of 22nd and Forest. An entire house had caught on fire. Me and my brother had seen the smoke in the sky and went running towards it. As I came out of the smoke and stopped coughing, I saw what had happened. This little house in the middle of this little street had caught on fire and burnt most everything inside it, top to bottom. The family was sitting on the sidewalk and discussing what they would do. A kid that looked roughly 14, around the age of the members of this youth group, had lost everything and gotten burnt trying to get out. What looked like this kid's uncle or grandpa was relaying the story of what happened to onlookers. While all their belongings may have been diminished to ashes, they still had everyone that had been in the house outside and in the best health for the situation, minus one person that had to go to the hospital on account of some smoke in their lungs. In this moment, I realized two things. One, I was grateful for my family's health and what we had, and two, that God had lessened the consequences of what could have happened. Everyone in that house could have died that night, but no, God had made sure everyone was still alive by the end of that night. The fire could have spread to other houses, but God had kept it contained. The house could have burned clear to the ground had God not kept it standing that night. This is what I believe in.
Hi, I'm Katie Allen, and I have had the distinct pleasure to get to know Bianca, and hopefully you'll get to know a little bit about her as well. I would describe her as big-hearted, quick-witted, and a true and loyal friend.
Hi, my name's Bianca, and today I'm going to be telling you a little about my faith and my journey through life in the Coming of Age program. Faith is a tricky thing. It can mean different things to different people. For me, faith is believing what I choose to in the moment. My faith is shaped by the people I meet and the experiences I go through. Those not only influence my beliefs in the world, but my entire being. Like the Dalai Lama said, my religion is very simple. My religion is kindness. Some people assign faith as believing in life after death. Is there life after death? Honestly, I don't know. But what there is life right now, and that's all I want to worry about. Faith is something that is honestly very hard to talk about. Even for me, and I talk a lot, it can be hard to talk about because you're afraid of what everyone else is going to think. Even if that sounds dumb, people really seem to care about the personal beliefs of others and how they compare and contrast to their own. Why do they care? I don't know, but the only person's opinion of me and my faith that is important is mine. I'm the only person I need to be validated by. Part of my focus recently has been trying to give myself that validation. It is not selfish to love yourself, and it is not selfish to believe in yourself. During this Coming of Age program, we had a wilderness retreat. I really love being in nature, the bugs and the dirt and the nature. We had this rite of passage thing where we had to go out by ourselves in the middle of the woods for 2 hours. It was enjoyable. The bugs and the dirt and me for 2 hours. Picture this. I'm trying to not get bugs or small animals in my hair in a small clearing in the woods. I'm remembering the goal of this extremely tedious exercise was to help us discover our faith. So I'm sitting on a tree stump in the middle of the forest, and I'm all like, Jesus, are you there? Buddha, is that you? Let me tell you, it was a long 2 hours. And if Jesus and Buddha were there, they did not let me know. I started to write things down about my faith and beliefs and all that stuff. I wrote how I do not believe in a God, spirit, or higher power, and how I do not classify myself as a religious person. I am a hopeful person. I aspire to be a person who makes a change. I aspire to be a person who helps us do better, because I know we can do better. Gandhi once said, in a gentle way, you can shake the world, and that's what I'm going to do. Thank you.
Take a deep breath in and out. Feel your feet on the ground, your back on the chair, your hands placed gently. However, breathe in and out. Close your eyes, and in a deeper part of your being, let them open. Let them open wide to the visions of our world, to the things unseen, overlooked, taken for granted. Open them to the vision, and what do you see? What do you see stretching before you, unfurling as each of your moments unfurl? What stories does your world tell you when everything else has fallen still? Breathe in and listen through a deeper part of your being. Breathe in, and on the in-breath, what does your heart tell you? And on the out-breath, what does it say? Burning. What does it long to tell you? How will you listen to the vision of the world more clearly that your ears are attuned? How will you see beneath the heavy clouds to the light playing on the great waters of the world unfolding now that your eyes are open? Moving through the world more deeply, how will you find the horizon you have always walked toward? Breathe in and listen. Breathe out and see. Come back to the firmness of your bodies, the chair beneath your back, the ground beneath your feet, and see. Our hearts are with those in our community who are struggling and those whose hearts rise in joy. We especially hold in love those who are grieving from recent losses and others whose challenges weigh heavy on our hearts. Our love is especially with Jane Swanson. We will gather in a memorial service for her husband Terry Swanson at 10:30 a.m. on June 1st. We also hold in our hearts Pat and Reverend Pete Peterson, whose son, Pete Peterson Jr., recently died from heart failure. Let us bring into this space the names of the people we know who need our support and love. Speak their names now, aloud or silently, into the warm embrace of this caring community. We hold in love all who face challenges not of their own choosing. We especially hold in love the school children of America who are at risk of gun violence from kindergarten through college. We extend our sympathy and support to the family of the students killed or injured in Colorado on Tuesday, and especially to the friends and family of 18-year-old Kendrick Castillo, who gave his life to save his classmates. We long for the time to come soon when our elected representatives act to protect the children who are entrusted to their care. We extend our love and support to those among us and those in the wider world who are marginalized and at risk. Our hearts especially fill with compassion for refugees who seek asylum in this country and who are greeted with callous inhumanity. Our hearts fill with sadness, and our determination rises in love and solidarity for all people today whose safety is diminished by violence based on some characteristic of their inherent humanity. May those who are grieving be comforted. May those who are struggling find a way through. May those who are weary find strength. Now we light 3 candles, one for the joys and concerns we have shared, one for the names we have spoken, and a final candle for all the longing that remains unspoken, yet present in the hearts of humans everywhere.
Good morning. I'm Susan Bridgeford, and it's been my pleasure this year to get to know Sophia. I would describe her with this phrase, on her toes, which is apropos on a couple of levels. The first, because she's bright and articulate, and the second, because she loves to dance.
Hi, I'm Sophia, and I've known all year that I would have to write a faith statement for COA. But my question was why? Faith is a complete trust in someone or something, and is usually in a God or other religious figure. But what if I don't believe in a God? Why should I write a faith statement if I don't really have any kind of religious faith? Well, the more I thought about it, I realized that you can have faith without it being in a religious way. Like I said before, faith is just having trust in something completely, and you can find that in things other than God and religion. I find faith in my life, in my friends, in my family, and in other groups and communities that I'm in. But when I was younger, I wasn't so sure about my faith, and I didn't really know what to say about religion when the topic came up in conversation. Pretty much all my friends when I was younger believed in God and went to some kind of Christian church. Whenever the topic of church came up in conversation, I would always keep quiet or act as if I was agreeing with one of my friends. I didn't want to be the outsider who has different beliefs or went to a different church where a lot of people don't believe in God. But over the years, I realized that a lot of my friends actually share my beliefs, and it's okay to have friends who have different religious beliefs than you. So like I said before, I find faith in other things. In my friends, because we support each other and make each other laugh even on our worst days. In my family, and in every community I'm in that makes me a better person and improves my life. I don't really believe in a God or an afterlife, and I'm not sure where all my beliefs on religion lie, but I don't think I need that kind of religious faith in my life right now. I think that everyone can find what they believe in themselves, and everyone is on that journey, including me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Eileen Jackson, and this past year it's been my pleasure to get to know and learn with and from Erin Adams. 3 words I'd use to describe Erin are witty, tenacious, and fierce. Erin has opted to present her faith statement in written form, and it is over here with her artwork, and I hope you'll take some time to read it. I'd also like to take a minute to thank all of the facilitators of the Coming of Age group. They are an amazing group of people that have spent a lot of time and energy shepherding not only the students in this group, but their mentors and their parents as well through this past year. So please join me in giving them a big round of applause.
Good morning. My name's Denise Rathman, and it has been my pleasure to serve as a mentor to Ella Stover Wright. 3 words that I would use to describe Ella are strong-willed, strong-minded, and strong-hearted.
People who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do, by Rob Sullivan. I believe this is one of the best quotes to live by because it reminds me to think without limits and to never doubt my wildest thoughts. Photography is the biggest thing in my life because of how it can always capture my wildest thoughts and not let them go. These are some of the most important photos to me because they are the people, things, and places that I have the most faith in. My friends, who I will always have faith in to do the right thing, whether that's naive of me or not, that's for me to figure out. My family, who will always love me and be there for me if I make the right decision or the wrong decision, and I will always love them too. My animals, who, believe it or not, can't really talk to me, but who I hope will always love me, and I will always love them. Nature, because of how the waves will keep going, the sun will rise and fall, whether I'm here or not. And yeah.
Good morning. For the past year, I've had the pleasure of getting to know Adrian Kenny. My name is Austin Haywood. A few words that I would use to describe Adrian are restless, easily distracted, but extremely kind.
I like that choice of words. Faith. It's a word that I've been confused by just my whole life, and not until recently, I just didn't know really what it meant. Faith is what you believe in, who you believe in, and why. I have faith in my mother because, well, she's the reason I'm here. Not because she gave birth to me, she made me come. Hi, Mom. I have faith in my brother because he's my brother. I mean, kind of have to. I have faith in Austin that he will continue to light up the hearts of darkened hearts. Sounds right. I have faith in this church that they will continue to save lives and to save just people from discrimination, from hate, from really anything that is not just. I have faith in humanity that they will continue to thrive and to make the world somewhat a better place.
I'm Nate Hogevane. I'm grateful to be here this morning. It's been a good year to be the mentor for Caden Walpole, who has certainly taught me a lot, and I hope he's learned some things too that he will share with you. Caden is extremely intelligent. He is quite creative, and he is a great free thinker.
There are things we can do, but from the things that work, there are only two. And from the two that we choose to do, peace will win and fear will lose. It is faith and there's sleep. We need to pick one, please, because faith is to be awake, and to be awake is for us to think, and for us to think is to be alive. That is a quote from a song called Car Radio by 21 Pilots, written by Tyler Joseph. And I really wanted to say that faster than I did, just to keep it in with the rhythm of the song. Because humans need to have faith in things, people built churches and created religion. That's what I originally thought when I heard this song, and I opted not to sing this verse because I am an atheist and I didn't want to associate myself with religion in general. And I assumed that's what he was referencing in that verse. That was a couple years ago. Now I realize that he was talking about having faith in other people and other things. When he says to be awake is to think, it reminds me that when we are awake, we need to be thinking of ways to help others and spread joy, even when we don't have any. When he says to think is to be alive, it reminds me that when we're thinking, that's when we are truly alive. I love my parents, and I have faith that they will do everything they can to make me a better person. The wonderful adults of COA have devoted many hours into making the youth better people and making the world a better place. And I respect that, even if I haven't shown that all year. That's all I have to say for today. Make sure the rest of the day goes well.
So I want to take a brief moment to, again, thank these wonderful youth who are willing to, I always get choked up, who are willing to spend the last 9 months with us. Yes, it was trying for all of us at times. We know that. But thank you. We learned so much for you, and it was a true pleasure and a blessing. Thank you to the mentors for all that you've given to them. Thank you to your families for letting them borrow us or us borrow them for a few months. Please, one more round of thanks to all that they brought us today.